Hello and welcome back to the channel. I've had a week off. Honestly, it's been 3 years since I started this YouTube channel, actually 3.5 years. In that time, I worked out that I hadn't had a single week, a solid 7 days where I hadn't had a camera in my hand filming something at some point. So it wasn't until halfway through that holiday that I realized just how much I needed that break. Anyway, we're back and we're kickstarting the channel with something very special. I'm here at a phenomenal chateau just outside of Lyon in France. The sun is shining, we're surrounded by vineyards, and more importantly, supercars. And today we are heading to a very special, exclusive location which is very, very hard to get access and incredibly rare to share footage from. But because we work closely with the very special people involved in this project, we're bringing it to you firsthand. Anyway, I'm going to save that and explain it to you when we arrive. Let's do it. Something about supercars in a tunnel is literally the best soundtrack. Look at that, it's pretty phenomenal. Anyway, seamless transition. Welcome to the Lamborghini Huracan of Zed. How's things, dude?
Hey, awesome.
If you guys don't follow Zed on Instagram, I'm gonna link below. Guy runs a fascinating company that runs customized wheels for supercars, effectively, right?
Thank you very much.
Fabulous, fabulous stuff. In fact, I'll show you them. They're on this Lambo when we step outside. Just before we do that, we have another tunnel. There he goes. Wow. Just look at the stance of that car on the road. It's the most theatrical machine. This car as well has come all the way from Bahrain. So we're on the Supercar Club Arabia tour with Michelin, and we're on the way to somewhere special, which I mentioned I will share with you shortly. But first of all, let's catch up with Zed, because I've joined this tour halfway through. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, I actually did the same trip this time last year with this club, and I did the same thing. I joined halfway through and missed all the good stuff.
Really?
Apparently I've done the same thing this time, right?
Yeah.
So you started 5 days ago?
Yeah, 5 days ago in Dubrovnik.
Okay.
Me, I started 1 day earlier because I was driving from Vienna to Dubrovnik like in 1 day, I think in 8 hours, 1,000 kilometers in a hurricane. It was an amazing trip and epic at the same time because you have the best views. Crazy drive.
That was like a great journey, man.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And this Huracan is no standard Huracan. I'll give you a brief tour of it when we step out in a minute, but I'm not sure if you can tell, but this is not running a stock exhaust. Is this a frequency intelligence exhaust?
Yeah, FI exhaust.
FI exhaust.
It's completely modified. You have the exhaust. I changed suspensions so that it's really, it has a nice stance. It looks fantastic. Of course, the wheels, 20 in the front, 21 in the rear. A complete customized body kit out of matte carbon fiber, so it's completely unique. You will not find this a second time in the world. There are
really
like 2 or 3 cars that run it.
Wow.
But in gloss carbon fiber.
Okay.
I finished this one specially for me in matte
carbon.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah,
It looks so good. And the wing.
Yeah, the wing is massive.
It looks like a Transformers boomerang.
Yeah, the diffuser.
It's amazing. So yeah, we're on our way to a special destination. More on that in a minute. Okay, so first fuel stop of the day. I thought this would be an appropriate moment to introduce you to the outside of Zed's Lambo. We got to start with the wheels. These are, when I say these are Zed's wheels, these are literally Zed's wheels. He owns a company. Is it Zed Performance?
Yeah,
Z. Z Performance, Zed Performance. Look at these. The detail on them is fantastic. And appropriately, they're shed in Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Look at the profile on those. Fantastic. Look at these like split rims. And these ones have a matte finish as well. They look super cool. Anyway, what he's gone and done is customize this, as he mentioned, to the nth degree. So this carbon pack that you see here is entirely exclusive to Zed's car, and this is the Transformers boomerang I was referring to as the wing on this car. Look at it. But what's great is it really suits the design language of this car. You know, Lamborghini are famous for having this dramatic, angular design language, and I think he's nailed it with this wing. Look at it, no detail. And it's all matte carbon too, which is cool. And then as we move down, look at the size of the diffuser on this. It is colossal. And it's been lowered. I'm not sure by how much. How much has it been dropped by?
I can't
Lowered?
tell you because it has the Novitec adjustable springs.
Ah.
I just lowered it as much as I...
Novitec adjustable, ooh, fancy. Novitec adjustable springs. Anyway, we don't have the exact measurement, but it is slammed. Look at the stance on this. One thing I forgot to mention about Zed's car is this is actually a wrap, and he's also done a very good job of color coding the calipers to the wrap. So all in all, yeah, fantastic group of people, fantastic group of cars. Once Zed's filled up his car, we're gonna join the convoy and head onwards to our special location. Okay, so here we are. We've arrived with SCA at Ladoux. This place is really secret squirrel. Honestly, just to step foot in here to be able to film, I'm super excited. As a little bit of backstory, it's amazing how the world and life works out. Way before I was born, back in the 70s, my dad actually worked for Michelin. So crazy how all of this comes around. He was a tire tester. In a way, he had one of the best jobs in the world. He would literally drive across Arizona. They sent him out to Arizona. I think he was out there for 3 years, and they would send him out prototype tires to test. He would just drive the length up and down in different hot weather testing scenarios. I'm not sure in total how many years he ended up working for Michelin, but he worked in the UK and he worked over in Arizona. And now to be an ambassador for these guys and come to the home of Michelin's test facility is very, very cool indeed. So let's hop inside, see what we can do with these remarkable cars. Okay, so this is quite the moment. We are now driving through the gates of Ladoux test facility. Cars you wouldn't believe have been developed here. Bugatti Chiron, even the latest greatest Ferrari, the SF90 with new hybrid tech. The tires for that have been developed on this very circuit. I cannot tell you how exclusive this opportunity is. So much so, Zed's got a camera in his mouth. That's a good way of doing it, man. Look at that. That's some behind the scenes insight as to how we get first person view driving.
That's actually as secret as this facility.
It is snorkel grip.
It's disgusting, you know.
It's cool, man. It works. Hey, man.
Yeah, it works.
Whatever works. So here we are. We're winding our way down now. So in this facility, there are 21 development circuits. 21. I would point the camera there, but I can't take it seriously right now. Yeah, 21 circuits here for developing everything from earth-moving equipment, quarry trucks, all the way up to supercars, which we conveniently find ourselves in today. If I can swing you back, here's our brace of cars, which are winding our way down to the test facility. And in a minute, we get to go on drift circuit, wet handling track, and even a full-blown racetrack. Let's do this. So a minute ago when I mentioned that they test all sorts of equipment here, that is the world's largest tyre. That is the tyres that they make for the likes of quarry trucks. They even develop those here. It is amazing to be at this place. And with a hell of a selection of great cars. Check this out. This is the largest tyre in the world, as the picture would suggest, is for quarry trucks. It weighs just over 5 tons, and each tyre can carry over 100 tons of weight. Unbelievable thing. What I'm more intrigued in, though, is what the size of that machine must be like if the tyre belongs to that thing. Amazingly, Michelin have a test facility very similar to this place, but specifically for off-road vehicles, quarry vehicles, etc., all the way down in the south of Spain. Okay, into familiar ground, and when I say familiar ground, into a Porsche. We are in the Michelin UK Porsche 911 Carrera 991, rear wheel drive, all traction off, and we are on the wet handling circuit at Ladoux. This test facility is fascinating. It has 7,000 sprinklers on this stretch of circuit. Absolutely exceptional. Let's see how this... Yes, it's... What can I say? It's slippy. So, amazingly, this whole facility has 21 circuits. Look at that circuit. What a facility. And you can see the water is cascading. The water's cascading across this circuit. And while for me it's incredibly fun, ultimately this is a really serious circuit because, as I mentioned earlier, this is where so many cars and tyres have been developed. This site has been here since the 60s, the mid-60s. Think about the cars, the sports cars and supercars in particular, that wear Michelin tyres. Think of the icons and legends which have been developed around here. Carrera GT would have tested here. Woo! There's areas where there's definitely more water on the track than other slots. Woo. And that's an area where they can simulate... Wow, so much fun. Where they can simulate aquaplaning. It's an amazing place. So much fun. It's actually amazing. I mean, these are wearing the new... This is wearing the new Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, and even in the wet, it's remarkable just how much grip it's got. It's really, honestly and truly. So down here, there's a little bit more standing water, so a third gear, 70 mile an hour, and there it spins up. So we've got all traction off. And this area here is literally developed to simulate an aquaplaning scenario where traction breaks loose, even in a straight line, which is actually quite scary. This content can be taken for granted, but just to have access to this facility is so exclusive. Normally, I mean, all around here, there's high barriers that surround the whole place because they don't want anyone coming down, any spotters taking pictures effectively of prototype cars. And the reason being, this is an ultra secret place, you know, prototypes, cars which we don't even know are about to exist yet, are tested here. If you came here on the right day, you'd see some pretty special kit. Now then, it's enough of me trying to string sentences together and learn a new circuit sideways. They also have, of course, a dry handling circuit. It's a little bit more my forte. Onward! He says onwards like he knows where he's going. 350 hectares of inroad. You have no idea where I'm going. Okay, we found it. Dry handling circuit, definitely a little bit more my forte. Michelin have 20 in-house development drivers. I met the man earlier responsible for Porsche and Ferrari. I mean, I thought I had a good job. Don't get me wrong, I get to travel the world sampling some of the world's best cars. This guy, that's all he does all day, trying to find improvements in the tyres. And then he'll go to the likes of Porsche and spend some time with them on their circuits. Nürburgring, for example. Imagine this, every now and again, this gentleman gets to go to the Nürburgring and it's closed just for him. What a job! So the gentleman that I was talking to you about, who might just have a better job than me, is Jerome, next to me right now. Would I be right in saying that you are sort of chief development driver, test driver?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm test driver, and
Yeah.
I'm in the head of sports car test drivers too.
I mean, as far as job titles go, that's pretty good. He was telling us stories earlier of working with Ferrari and Porsche and developing special products, so it's fantastic. He is piloting today a White Arc Pack Gen 2 GT3 RS. So we're going to have a quick lap with the man that knows this place better than anyone.
With PS Cup 2 tires.
Oh, we're on Cup 2s. All right, perfect. Let's hit it.
Okay, you are ready?
Yep, I'm ready. First time around here. Wow. And in front of us, if you guys were wondering, this is the demonstration of the Track Connect app.
So we have finished, so I can put stop.
Yep.
You know? Okay. And after, the application give you the value you have to reduce the pressure on each wheel, you know?
That is amazing.
Just to have the optimized pressure for the lap time, for the grip, for the handling.
Yes.
So with this app, you always drive with the right pressure.
Sure.
That is very important.
Fantastic. So for any of you guys who have spent time on track, and even for those guys who haven't spent time on track, it's really important, and often the case on the first few outings when you go out on a track day, that you will come back in and you'll adjust your pressures. Up until this point, unless you have a race team with you, it's somewhat of a guess to adjust the pressures, go back out again, see how it feels, come back in and adjust pressures. With this app, it reads the pressures and temperatures of your tires, but also takes into account the specific track you're driving on and even how you are individually driving, and then it gives feedback as to the recommended individual tire pressures. So rather than necessarily bleeding them and changing them equally on each tire, this will tell you specifically each tire what pressure to adjust them to. It really is an amazing thing. Obviously that gives you more grip because you're increasing the contact patch and surface area with the tire, but also it allows you to get a lot more tire life out of your tire, so you can do things like he's just done. Absolutely outstanding. And so there you have it. My day with Michelin is complete. What an honor to experience that track, and even more exclusive, never mind going there, is the opportunity to share it with you. I know I've said it over and over again, but seriously, to get access to that circuit and share it is absolutely colossal. I'm finishing up my time next to another world's largest tyre outside the Michelin Museum. I'm going to spend some time in there getting to know the history of the brand a little bit further. Be sure to like and subscribe. YouTube have recently introduced a system where you'll actually get alerted when new content goes live. As long as you make sure to hit the little bell when you click subscribe, then the alerts will come through. Anyway, back on a plane now, back to somewhere else to pick up a very exciting car. As always guys, thanks for watching. I shall see you next time. Ciao.